You're listening to Oilersnation Radio, presented by the Nation Network. Subscribe for free on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Episode 278, Oilersnation Radio. Why am I hosting today? Well, because even when you have the Stuart Skinner of hosts, sometimes you just mix it up and give a start to Jack.
You're adorable. Said it's a big admin day. Let's call it that.
It was a big admin day, and Bag Milk said, my brain is full. And I said, don't worry about that. There's nothing in mine. I can host. So here we are, Oilersnation Radio. As we start, or let's start as we always do. I'm new to this.
First day.
Shout out to our friends at Oodle Noodle. Have you ever been just going around the city? Maybe you're driving, walking, and you see cars whizzing by left and right, and they all have Oilers Nation stickers on the back. And you're like, son of a bitch, I want to fit in with those people. I want to be a part of the club. Well, good news, listener. You can get an Oilers Nation sticker by heading to any Oodle Noodle location in Edmonton, and there's a bunch of them.
Wow.
Yep.
Not only Edmonton, but the Edmonton area.
100%. Sherwood Park.
St. Albert. Spruce Grove.
Fort Saskatchewan.
West End.
Spruce
West
Grove?
End, not part of they're going to separate from Edmonton. Anyways, go get your stickers now. We start today's show with the Oodle Noodle Delicious Debate. Beer koozies. It's koozies.
You bamboozled yourself.
I have now. We all agree it's koozies, not cozies, but are they the most useless invention ever?
Yes.
Well, it depends. Like,
unnecessary.
how slow are you drinking this beer that you require?
Well, where am I when I'm using my koozie? Am I at home? Am I in the middle of the woods? Is it summer? Is it winter? When do I need this koozie?
The only time I could think of that I would need a beer koozie is I'm thinking about Rick. Remember when we were Nation Vacation in Vegas?
Yes.
Day before we left, we just had that long ass delay and we were sitting there watching football.
Right.
I was nursing that Bud Light for 2-3 hours probably.
You need to get that first one down, boys.
Feeling my freshest. That's the only time I will accept a beer koozie.
Was that this time around?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I was that too.
Yeah, you were sitting with us.
Yeah. So, that sounds familiar.
Remember we got a fucking bucket of beers and they just sat there for a long time.
The ice was melting around them.
Yes.
Yeah, they turned into a bath. You had some beers in the tub.
Yep.
Yeah, bath.
The only time you need one is to cover the label of the can because you don't want to show the label.
Oh, you're embarrassed like you're drinking Mountain Crest.
Well, or it could be something like Tyler's having a beer on, while he's filming and he's like, well, these guys aren't paying for this, so I better close this and cover it up.
Got a Brava, perhaps.
Or you're just a straight liar and you've actually got a Diet Coke in there.
Keeping it light.
Mm-hmm.
Gross.
So, second delicious debate. Do you wash your hands after you piss on them?
So this all started, this whole thing, it's become a Twitter thing now because Zach decided to make it one. We were in here talking about some TikTok personalities. And I said, oh, have you seen that TikTok going around where the people are like, I don't wash my hands after I go to the bathroom because I just don't piss on them. And I said that out loud, referencing the TikTok. Zach decided to make it seem like I've just had that quote and it's a belief I share. I'm here to say it's not. Always wash your hands.
That's fine. I don't wipe at all.
Just cover them up.
Dude, don't say that.
Yeah,
this is taking a horrible turn.
Not once ever.
So yes, delicious debate. I wash my hands. Rick?
Once every spring,
Yes.
I rub my bum on the grass.
Come on.
like a
There's
dog.
people who will not appreciate that image.
It's almost time for it though.
It's almost spring.
Yeah,
you're
he's-
right.
Yeah, see, like I'm like, there's some grass up here.
Maybe that's why he got here late today.
This is spring cleaning.
Jesus.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Bag Milk, do you have the clip queued up for what our actual delicious debate is? John, this is our actual delicious debate. John Scott, a drop in the gloves, friend of the network, friend of the show, dropped a rather spicy take about Oilers defenseman Darnell Nurse. We're going to debate that.
So
press the
it's an
button.
interesting conversation. We have it every year when talking about the MVP, who was the most valuable player for their team. Because in the same vein, a defenseman we'll talk about next, Darnell Nurse, could be way more valuable. And people dog on him all the time. But is he more valuable because he does more stuff? Like, what constitutes a Norris Trophy winner? Is it just strictly points? Or is it a guy who you can put out in any situation? You're up by a goal, 30 seconds left, face off in your own zone. Are you going to put Erik Karlsson on the ice? No, you're not. He's going to be stapled to the bench. Darnell Nurse will be on the ice. Better believe it.
What do we think about that?
He has a point.
I think the idea around his point is correct.
So do I.
I don't know if it's the right player to pick, but
No,
I don't think
he's-
it's massively incorrect that Nurse isn't in those situations too.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. Although if you're just looking at this team itself, I'm most likely putting Ekholm out there first.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
However, I mean, yeah, he's been here longer, whatever. But yeah, it's going to be Ekholm. But I do agree with the fact that, the Norris should be probably all around type of thing. I don't know that your metrics and your get a little tougher at that point.
I think that Darnell Nurse, no matter what he does, is going to get a bum rap just because of the contract. He's
At that
the
point,
new Sean Horkoff.
Why I don't know. I don't get this thing. We have so many fans who've been around a long time
Yeah, Sean Horkoff.
and sit there and say Horkoff had the raw end of the deal because of what his pay scale was, not what he was doing on the ice. We are literally doing the same thing with Darnell. It's like we've done this once. We learned our lesson.
Yep.
We spoke about it in the years in between. Oh, shouldn't have done that. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Now people are doing it again.
Yeah.
Without even a hesitation in it. You know damn well you're Sean Horkoff. You're Horkoffing this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Does it stop anybody? Nope. All they want to do, they want to rush, be the first one to point a finger and say, this is what he did wrong, because they feel like they get some sort of
Some Russia to it for them.
yeah, or like look at this, guys. I was the first one to point it out. I pointed my finger first. I don't understand where that.
Look how smart I am about the sport. I think the guy who makes a lot is actually bad.
Yeah,
Well, it goes going back to the Horkoff thing, Kevin Lowe gave him that contract. He signed it. Nobody was pointing at Kevin Lowe after the fact. It was always Horkoff makes too much money. And in retrospect, it was $5 point something million.
I think it was 5.2, wasn't it?
Same with Darnell Nurse. Ken Holland didn't have to give him that contract at that moment. He still had another year left. I get it, but I would have signed it too, man.
he was playing for cheap when he was underpaid when he was on those bridge deals.
To me, that's a bigger conversation about, did the Oilers take the right approach with Darnell Nurse with the bridge deals? I understand there was cap.
Second
stuff
one,
going
no.
on.
First one, yes.
Yeah. So there's also a thing there where they signed him on the back of a ridiculous heater in the All-Canadian season.
Mm-hmm.
His numbers right now are not terrible.
They're not
when his
terrible.
comparables to other defensemen,
I think he can
not
play better
terrible.
though. I don't think there's any doubt he can play better than he is right now.
But here's what I'll
he needs
say
to simplify his game a bit.
for the
He gets
people
too
who want
trustworthy.
to rag on him. The mistakes he makes have never, ever, ever, ever been effort based. This
No.
isn't a guy who's checking
No.
out of games,
No,
who's
never.
suddenly not competitive, who got the payday, kicked back, and was like, I'm going to start sucking now. He's done his best and he's having a bad year. Guys have bad years all the time. A year ago today, the San Jose Sharks could have thrown 3 first-round picks with Erik Karlsson and no one was touching that shit.
Yep.
Would you
Look at
say
him
he's
now.
actually having a bad year?
Well, there's also, I want to add on to that because there are some mistakes that are obviously
Yeah.
there and you go, whoa.
Human factor.
The St. Louis one stands out.
He is 1 point away from matching his career high.
I was just looking at that too.
1 point away.
1 goal away from having 3 10-goal seasons as a defenseman that doesn't play on the power
And
play
compare
too.
him to other defensemen in 5-on-5 scoring.
I will do just that for you, Rick, because the
Thank you.
numbers are very good. First off,
Yes.
I'll give you this from John Scott's co-host, Tim. Darnell Nurse over the last 3 seasons, even strength goals, 3rd amongst D-men. Even strength points, 10th. Plus minus, 9th. Okay, maybe not a great stat. Time on ice, 11th. 11th thing, he's the 11th most played D-man over the last 3 years. Guess what? When you're on the ice a lot, you're going to make mistakes. That will happen. Good players have the puck more. They're in tougher situations. Turnovers will be more apparent to the naked eyes.
It's funny how many people will sit there and rag on him for turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
But they stood up for Taylor Hall and his turnovers because he had the puck so often.
Yeah.
It's the exact same fucking thing.
Darnell Nurse, is tied for 7th with Cale Makar for even strength points this year. He has more even strength points than Dahlin, Taves, Yossi, Heiskanen, Pietrangelo. Again, we can And I know I'm now on the opposite side of this debate, kind of cherry picking, but I feel like people watch, they see the turnovers, and now they just have in their brains that he sucks. And now when they watch games, they notice every turnover because they're looking for
That's
it.
all they're looking for.
Yeah.
And it's funny because they're very, very quiet when he does something good.
Like last night when he went bar down to give the others a 3-2
Yes.
lead
I asked you if we should give him a raise.
I said, if he scores one more goal, it's something to consider. 1 million per goal.
Tied for first in shorthanded points and shorthanded goals by defensemen this year.
Most goals by a defenseman in overtime in Oilers franchise history too.
I've kind of pivoted my thinking on the Nurse situation because it's not going to go away.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have fun with it. That's all you can really do because he's not a bad player.
No.
He's not at all. Most nights, prior to Ekholm especially, he was the best defenseman by far on this team.
I think
Is he paid too much? Yeah. A lot of people are paid too much.
But if you look at those comparables, it's tough to say he is. He's in the top 15 of everything you just said.
it is funny. Tyler and I had this debate about him. I can't remember exactly when it was, but it was only a couple of weeks ago, I guess. But we were talking how everyone rags on Nurse because he's not on the power play. How can he be good? How can you pay him so much? But when McDavid and Draisaitl score on the power play, they're not valuable points. Yeah. So it's like, what do you want here? He's got 40 points as a defenseman that never plays on the power play. Point every other game, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
If they gave him top power play minutes, he'd have a ton more points and all of that. But again, that's not what he's here to do. He's here to kill penalties. He's here to be the guy who you can put out late in the game. And there are moments where, you kind of wince. But again, like this year, he's made more mistakes than you'd like. But guys can have bad seasons. And also, I had someone today in the comment section on Oilers Nation Every Day saying you can't win with Darnell Nurse in your top 4. Bro, they went to the conference finals. Darnell Nurse was on one leg.
These guys make such absolute statements that are ridiculous.
Chris Letang from the Pittsburgh Penguins, most people would generally agree he's pretty good.
Very good.
He
Hall of
has
Famer.
the same amount of giveaways as Darnell Nurse in 20 fewer games. It happens.
There was I can't remember what it was, but it was something like giveaways per 60 or something like that. I think it was Victor Hedman had more giveaways per 60 than Darnell Nurse or something like crazy like that. It's just like when you play top minutes, like I said, he's almost playing 25 minutes a night. Every now and then, a puck isn't going to go directly to McDavid or Draisaitl.
And when you're playing those minutes, you're probably playing against the top competition.
Yeah, you
also
play against the
something-
best
Those guys are
you're the
damn good
best.
too.
Yes.
Also, something I want to say about some of the giveaways too, like some of that to me, at least in my opinion, this is anecdotal, of course, is on the way the Oilers break out the puck.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They fly the zone super early sometimes. And those first breakout passes, they have to be gunned all the way up to center.
Those are tough.
Those are tough plays to make.
Yep.
When I went to the Arizona game last week, the one that started at 2 a.m. Eastern time, I was watching Nurse I just dialed in on him a little bit. And there's sometimes he'll just get put in the absolute worst spot by his like defensive partner. And then something happens from there that leads to him being like, look at what Nurse did. And it's like, no,
Cody sees he's having a rough year.
almost bailing somebody out here. And it's just like, now he's under so much pressure to do it because he's got 3 guys around him. He's just buried against the boards and it's just in the back of the net. Vincent Desharnais last night turned that puck over before the second goal when he got the penalty.
Yeah.
He turned that puck over and it resulted in a power play and then they scored. If that was Darnell Nurse, that would have been absolutely all over the internet. And I'm not just, Vinny's just a recent example of it. The Oilers defensemen do it all the time, but it's just like, holy smokes, lay off the guy a little bit. He's literally like the conversation too, which I find interesting is how Ekholm is the best defenseman than Chris Pronger. Since Chris Pronger. Then what has Darnell Nurse been this last 5 years, right? 4 years maybe.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying he's Chris Pronger, but it's just like, there's a guy here that statistically has been very, very good for the Oilers for 3 or 4 years now, whatever it's been.
Underpaid during those bridge deals, man.
And we just disrespect him so much by this new guy who comes in, and Ekholm is fantastic. I love him. It's like, Darnell Nurse has kind of been that guy too.
Should Daryl grow a beard?
If he can, yes.
Yep.
That'd be good luck.
I agree. But there's also the factor too, like
He can grow a beard, I think.
let's say Bag
I've
Milk
seen it.
as a blogger produces as a middle 6 forward, which I feel like is a probably an overestimation of my skills. Jay walked in this room right now and he goes, you know what, Bag Milk? What would that have been for Daryl? We're going to double your salary. I was like, fuck yeah, let's giddy up. I'm not going to go, you know what? Let's bring that down a touch.
That's a little too much for me. Thank you.
That's a little too much.
Expectations
I
are
don't
too
like
high.
that. It doesn't happen. It does not happen.
So what was the debate? If that was the right or what?
No, we just wanted to debate what John had to say and bring up a little bit of Darnell Nurse talk. Because
John
again,
is not out to lunch on this one.
Not on this one.
not totally a approach. No.
Well, a lot of
He has
people.
a valid point.
Yeah, I think the idea around it saying it should be a more well-rounded defenseman that gets nominated for the Norris is right, but also Erik Karlsson's season has been nuts. But it's funny too, like we talked about effort that Nurse brings every single night. That overtime goal that Nurse scored against San Jose,
yeah, and
was through a
Karlsson,
lack of effort from Erik Karlsson.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's just funny how the world turns sometimes.
Also, just going back to that one real quick. I remember when Darnell Nurse picked up the puck at center ice and I go, what are you doing up there?
He's got nosebleeds. He's so far up the ice.
Mm-hmm.
Drop some coins out of his pocket.
Yep. Where she goes. Picked up the winner. That's all that matters.
There's our delicious debate brought to you by Oodle Noodle. Why not have some nudes while you're enjoying the hockey throughout the course of this week? Some other stuff. Let's talk about the game last night. The Oilers get a win over the Arizona Coyotes. Yep.
That, like, first of all, Oilers fans travel the best ever.
Great stuff.
That was a home game last
There
night.
were less people. And I'm not. This is not a shot at anybody. There were less people at that game than there were at the Vegas game when we were there.
Yes.
Numbers wise,
Yes.
Percentage wise.
but percentage wise,
Percentage wise, it was crazy. So first of all, the thing I want to say is, like, even when I was watching warm-ups and looking at the camera angles and stuff, it's like, man, I would love to go to a game there.
did you see like so they took a shot of like the announce area and then kind of like panned down to the ice, and I swear it went from like the announce area and like 7 rows and the ice.
Yeah.
I was like, man, we are like right here. These are good seats.
I also thought it was interesting that behind the nets, they don't have anybody because it's like raised seating
Right.
back there. It was interesting. I thought it was outside of the shadows on the ice from the lighting.
I lost the puck a lot.
That was the only complaint I had.
Didn't
really.
the puck not like shoot into the air like 64 times?
Yeah, there was, and then like you would see guys kind of almost lose it.
Yeah, they don't even know where it
backdrop.
is. I'm like, well, if I can't find it, I gotta watch you guys to like kind of point. Nope, they're looking at me, looking at trying to find the puck. I'm sorry, guys.
But you know what? The Oilers went in there and they handled their business. It wasn't perfect by any means, but they got the win in like a hostile barn outside of the Oilers fans everywhere.
But that team just took Colorado to a shootout.
Yeah. Coyotes are good at home. They're like really solid at
They're a
home.
top 5 home team in the NHL this year, which is insane.
Yeah, because
doesn't
aren't they
make
like
sense, but-
27th in the league or something like that? So you got to appreciate the way the Oilers went into what is a hostile territory and got the job done.
And I'm like, not regular territory too. It's just the way it kind of all set up. Like the walk that they had to do from the dressing room to the
Hilarious.
ice was literally walking through like the concession area and outside. Like, it's
I wonder if
absolutely
any of the
crazy.
scratches walk through there, grab a dog when they're going in. You know,
Yeah.
like Stu was sitting behind the glass. He just had a little popcorn hidden under there.
Behind the glass and like
You had to pay for a seat, I heard.
there was a partition between him and the defenseman.
Yeah, you had to pay for
That
a
was
seat.
weird.
That was odd. That was funny. Made me
Well, the whole
laugh.
thing's weird about having an NHL rink with 4,600 capacity. Like, I was listening to the Jason Greger show yesterday, and they were talking about how where are they? Tempe, Arizona?
Yeah.
City council voted unanimously to build a new arena, but they have a referendum with like a citizens vote coming up soon. And that one isn't quite as, if people aren't so hyped about
Yeah.
paying the tax dollars to get that done. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with them.
Wait, that vote doesn't pass. They're going to Houston this summer, baby.
Do you think Gary will finally give it up?
Yep.
I think you
they
have
no
to.
choice.
You have no choice of that, but you don't even have a rink.
I don't feel like. When was the last time you ever saw Gary finally just like, fine, okay? He sits there and adamantly tells you the puck is dropped on time. Okay,
is true.
straight to your face. Says, no, there's not an issue here. Our refs are the best they've ever been.
God. Counterpoint.
Yeah.
He pulled the plug on Atlanta real quick when it was time to do so, right?
Well, that's the funny
Winnipeg,
part
though.
about that one, right? Is like
Came out of
It
nowhere.
was Arizona the whole time. Or
Arizona
Phoenix.
is just like, nope. And then Atlanta's like, we can't do it. And they're like, all right,
See
send
ya.
him back to Winnipeg.
Out you go.
Oh, and you could be called the Jets again. No problem. Let's pretend
Get over,
like
get
that's
over
fine.
there.
But I just think it could be that kind of a situation where if that vote doesn't go their way, they'll sit there and go, okay, no plans for a new arena. We can't have you playing in this 5,000 seat rink permanently. You've burned too many bridges in the other areas. Houston's got a rink. Houston's got an owner who wants to spend.
How do you
Going there.
get that expansion fee out of them though? Because that's
But
essentially what they want.
But think of the other owners right now who are
They're propping it up.
I agree with you.
All of a sudden, you go from having to prop something up to potentially a team in Houston who's going to make money, be profitable, give you, contribute to the pot. It goes from a loss to a gain, right? There's that swing. I think you don't need the expansion money. And if you one day want
expansion money is nice.
I know, but if you one day wanted to expand again, you could still do it and charge someone the fee. But 32 teams, you're not going to 33, 34 anytime soon. So I think relocation is a way to make more money.
I got a DM last night from somebody who was at the game on Instagram, and he paid $325 US for his seats last night.
$325.
I am going to ask you the question. Is it $325 or $3.25?
Yeah, $325 US. He had great seats, mind you. He was right down in the mix. I was like, damn, man.
When did he? I'm curious to when he bought them.
Yeah.
Shortly before. I asked
the game?
Like days before.
Okay. It was McDavid's first time there.
I was going to say, I wonder if there's like they don't always sell out, do they?
No.
No,
I don't know.
So
really?
do you think? I think the ticket value is increased. Yeah. I think the ticket value is increased when you have a team like Edmonton come through because there's 10,000 Edmontonians in that city trying to buy tickets.
They even had that.
Whereas if, and I don't take this offense, but if the Blue Jackets are coming through, I know.
They even had that. Gene even had that segment on the broadcast last night where it's like, this zone's normally $35 tickets. Yeah. Now they're $100+. It's like,
yeah, that's when Jack was like, I know a lot of guys in Edmonton that would
even $100 US, I'd be doing it.
Then he just like openly took a shot at the ticket prices. Yeah.
I'll never forget. And this is off track now, but I went down to Arizona years ago now to go to. Yeah, something like
Monday
that. Monday Night Football. Yeah. And since we were down there, we just had a day off. We're like, oh, the Coyotes are playing. Let's go. And we walked up to the ticket counter and I was like, what can we do for $50 US each? And they go, $50 US?
You're starting
centerman. You want to sit on the bench? Like I remember we were 8 rows up, dead center, $50 US per ticket.
I went to an Anaheim Ducks game when I was in Disneyland. And they were playing the Islanders, and I think it was a Friday night. And
so it was the Islanders, though.
And me and my buddy and his dad went up to the ticket booth, and he said, what do you have available? And the guy goes, literally everywhere.
Where would you like to sit?
Yeah. Have you guys heard the clip of McDavid being asked about the Mullet Arena?
No.
Can we pull that up? Can we put that on? It was on YouTube. It was literally the opening question from the thing. It was the response really made me chuckle. Just the immediate response.
Well, it's because he's like, I haven't played Claire Drake since the back in the rookie days.
Yeah. He was talking about like Erie. Oh, is this it?
Yeah.
Connor, first impressions of Mullet Arena.
Just laugh.
Mullet Arena.
That was
fuck it. Where'd it go?
What is his actual answer though?
First impressions of Mullet Arena. Connor, first impressions of Mullet Arena.
That's all? Like, what was the actual answer though?
That's the whole clip. So I don't know.
the clip's on YouTube. You can listen to the full clip on YouTube. He basically said, like, I haven't played in a rink like this since I was in junior, and it was fun when I did it. They asked him what rinks he liked to play in, and he said Kitchener and Erie. And someone was like, well, they double the capacity of this rink. And he laughed again. It was just a really funny opening.
It reminded me last night of when we went to, this is early Nation days. We went to Ryan Smith's retirement, jersey retirement in Moose Jaw. They got a cool arena in Moose Jaw. Obviously, it's a junior rink, but that's what that reminded me of last night. Was watching
Grapefruit baseball.
Grapefruit baseball?
That's what like spring training ball.
It's like Dunedin. There's like 37 seats there instead of playing it. That's what it felt like to me.
I went to, when I was in Phoenix, right before the pandemic, I went Chicago versus Chicago, and I can't remember, Mesa, is it called, or something like that? And yeah, like the spring league, like the end was just all grass. There was no seats. I was like, it's kind of a cool vibe sometimes to go on those smaller venues and see like the pros play.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we'd all agree it would be fun to go watch a game down in Arizona. And that got the wheels turning yesterday between myself and Jay and the others on Real Life when we were talking about maybe an AMA Travel Nation vacation next season. Lick, how does this sound? All right. Let's say the schedule breaks our way.
Okay.
The Oilers play on a Saturday night in Arizona.
Love that.
You fly in.
Are they allowed to play on weekends?
In this hypothetical world, yes.
All right.
You fly in on Friday, bright and early.
Yep.
Get a little nice afternoon round of golfing with
love
everyone. Saturday, Oilers game.
Love it.
Sunday, little afternoon golf. Fly back that evening. Boom. How's that for a weekend? 2 rounds of golf and an Oilers game in the sun.
Fantastic. However, we talked about this a couple of years ago too, where we almost tried to put it together. You find a game where you can start going to both. So you catch the Arizona game, and I think it's about a 3-hour bus ride to Vegas,
Yeah, it's not far.
and then you'll catch a game.
That would be a
I
fun bus ride.
drove from Phoenix to Vegas. It's not far.
So you could.
That's an Edmonton to Calgary bus trip.
Yeah, it's
Those are usually pretty fun.
maybe a little bit, but like, yeah.
The Calgary
we
to
do-
Edmonton bus trip, not as fun.
No, definitely.
The
Much
folks at
quieter.
AMA Travel, they help us with our nation vacations. I have a funny feeling they could help us out with this. A little golf, Oilers, Coyotes, Oilers, Golden Knights, all in one kind of.
Oh boy.
So that'd be quite the
If
trip.
they're there next year.
And then somehow you sprinkle in some Fremont Street into this.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
Nice dance party.
Yeah.
Take your shoes off, just kick it.
I have
Splash around the puddles.
a blank check right now for you, AMA Travel.
Mhm.
Shout out to our friends at AMA Travel, amatravel.ca. Let's.
Wait, I got a question. I'm just
Okay.
counting. 1 second.
Take your time.
Just 1 second.
Yeah.
He's
How
just
many games do you think the Arizona Coyotes played on home ice on a Saturday this season?
0.
I'll say 2.
Well, it took you that long to count, so I'm gonna go with 4.
2.
I nailed it.
One of them was last week, and the other one was just a month before. So I'm assuming Arizona State season was done at that point. That they could film. They had a few Sundays, but 2 Saturdays all year. Crazy.
And
Some of the
wasn't it
jokes
like,
are funny on
didn't they
Twitter,
have to go like 3 weeks before their first home game?
I think
or
it was
something?
13 games in a row that they were on the road to start the year.
It is amazing though, to the Coyotes' credit. Like, they're legit at home. Can't do shit on the road.
And they had some tough road trips in there that would have been difficult and hurt that record as well. Like for the cards they've been dealt, and I'm talking only about the 23 guys on their active roster, no one else really, coaching staff, I suppose, but that's it. For the cards they've been dealt, have the season they have had, pulled off some of the wins they have, the runs they've had, pretty respectable.
I'll
Not
tell
bad.
you, whoever gets them next is going to have a pretty good team. to
Those
build up.
23 dudes cost about what, $39 million, and the rest is
Yeah, the
just
rest of the guys who haven't
dead.
played in years.
Yeah, you really got to respect what they've done. And honestly, if I'm the owner of Arizona, I think next year you got to go to Armstrong and be like, "Hey, man, put a winning product on the ice because these guys clearly know how to do it. Like, just put an extra couple of bodies out there. You got guys you can put on LTIR now."
But the thing is, Bill Armstrong is not, collecting these contracts because he thinks it's fun. And the owner's like, what the hell?
I know. Yeah, for
He's doing
sure.
this because the owner is telling him to.
Oh, he is.
Well,
Also,
you can only spend X amount on players. You need to get to the floor and do all of this. That's where this is coming
Then it
from.
needs
right?
to be flipped. Armstrong needs to go to the owner and say,
Yes.
"We've got a winning product here. Let us
That's what I mean,
splash
the people
clash
of
on good
Houston will
players."
Isn't the
enjoy
owner in
Yes.
jail?
Well, one of the
True,
minority
yeah.
owners is.
Yeah. And then,
But can you imagine? I think the owner of the Rockets, Frittata, right?
I
Billy
love
Furtado?
I love a frittata.
I think
don't
it's his name.
I don't know.
Oh, I might be getting that really wrong. Anyways,
James
if you were to
Bond's
get them,
hungry.
can you imagine if he went and was like, you know what? New team, first year in Houston. I'm ready to spend some coin to turn this into a winning product. Bill Armstrong, you can put all of those guys, Voracek, Weber, Ladd, Little, you can LTIR them and you can spend that $26.8 million. Spend that in free agency. See what you can do. That team would suddenly look really good.
There's a
Lots of
thing to
players.
be said about the team that you just kind of like sweep under the carpet and don't really consider though, right? And you start
Yeah,
to
that's
get
fair.
too big, and then they don't really fulfill what you expect anymore. There's something to be said about being that underdog.
there's got to be a gradual buildup of it, I guess. But I don't know. I think they've got a lot of talent there.
To me, it
Kella's
kind of
sick,
reminds me of
Maselli's sick.
Oilers Rebuild 1 or 2.0. Like at
Can you
the
give me
end
some
of the
players
season.
so I know exactly who we're referring to? Like we
Like
talking
Taylor
like
Hall, like
oh, okay, that rebuild.
Taylor
All right.
Hall, Jordan Eberle, like Hope era.
Yeah.
And at the end of those seasons, when they were just playing loose and free, they were collecting wins, and people go, "Oh, next year's the year. Next year's the year." Like,
Buffalo Sabres do that almost every
Yeah.
single year too.
Yeah.
Dude, they've
Yeah.
been saying that about, and they still have an opportunity, but they've been saying about that with Ottawa for a couple of years, right? And they're just not quite getting quite there.
how
yet.
about Ottawa's big win over Florida last night? Like, doesn't that really fuck Florida's chances of making the playoffs?
They're toast, dude. Like if they were to go 7-1, they would still need help.
Wow.
And
I also love the Brady's better chant going on. That was good. That was a fun game to watch.
The Arizona Coyotes in the first 3 rounds of the upcoming NHL draft will pick 7 times. Next year in the first 3 rounds, they'll pick 8 times. And the year after that, 7.
Eventually you have to like have space for those guys to play.
Yeah, but at least you can see it, who pans out, who doesn't, and make trades from that.
When was the last time you saw a team with like that many picks do something good? Boston, they don't like, if you ask Boston fans, they didn't like what they did when they had the 3 picks in 15 or whatever it was. When you look at the Oilers and we had the 3 picks in 07 or whatever it was, Sam Gagner was good. The other 2 not
Alex
so.
Plant could still turn out.
Yeah, but still, like,
He's an
you know what I'm saying?
international-
but you need to trust your scouts.
Yeah, or would you not rather turn those draft picks into like almost ready players or
I wonder
into
if they're
better
going to do at least
prospects
some
right now?
of that. You know, like maybe they keep 2 of the first rounders and then trade the other one.
We already know that you need quality players, high skilled players, veterans to help your high skilled rookies. We saw
Well, they
that
have
with that first
veterans.
rebuild. We never had Taylor Hall never had a player that he could look at and say, okay, offensively, you've done what I'd like to do one day. And you kind of look at him kind of the way Darnell gets to do with Ekholm right now, or, you know, with that type of a situation. You need that in these young teams with that much youth. You need quality players, quality veterans that still trying to be like the mentor. Maybe Claude Giroux out in Ottawa.
And that's what I do like what Ottawa did, right? You get Chychrun, you get Giroux, 2 guys who want to be there, take pride in it. I know
Everybody wanted Chychrun, and where is he?
hurt again.
Yeah. Everybody wanted Carlson, and what did he? Let Nurse skate right in. I think we got the right player there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big fan of Matthias Ekholm. He had a pretty rough giveaway last night, but again, the beard is so
That thing
manly.
off the
I'll forgive
boards?
it. Yeah.
That, I still don't like. So when he shot it, I think the only way that puck could do that is if it turned on his stick a bit and hit flat against the boards,
It was a weird one for
because
sure.
that thing died right
It
there.
was a weird one for sure.
But nobody gives him hell for that.
I did.
Did you?
I said, you may be handsome and damn it, you're manly, but I'll forgive you. Let's tighten it up.
We're going to talk a little bit about what's on the line here down the stretch for the Oilers. But first, we're going to step aside for a quick ad. Big game tonight against the Vegas Golden Knights. The Oilers, I mean, man, if you would have, what's the laughing?
I might even pull out a koozie.
Well, I was waited for Liam to tell me the ad was over.
I wasn't sure how long the ad was, so it's hard to say.
That's fair. If you would have told me a few weeks ago that, hey, the Oilers are about to go on an 8-1-1 run, if someone would have came in, a genie from the future, walks into our podcast studio, says, Oilersnation Radio crew, the Oilers are about to go on an 8-1-1 run. What would we have been talking about? We'd have been sitting here going, top spot in the division, top spot in the conference. No, because fucking Vegas won't stop winning, and LA's 8-0-2 in that span as well. And it's just, I'm really frustrated that as the Oilers get smoking hot, the rest of the division's like, oh yeah, shit, we're going to start trying now too.
Don't forget, it's 82 games. We got to rush out that whole every single game. First place. I know I have money on the line here. I'm not giving up yet. I've seen it too often. We've come into the third period and been down by a couple. You got to run through first base, right? Like it's not quite over yet. Okay. All those teams still have to win. We still have to win. We still have an opportunity here.
All that's true. It just makes me think of just the missed opportunities when the Oilers were not playing well earlier in the year. Those are like, you know, the losses to Columbus, annoying. The early loss to the Ducks, annoying. There's your 6 points right there, and you're in first.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Which team preferably would you like to see in the first round?
Vegas. Well, Seattle.
Seattle, ideally, but Vegas over. LA's just really good.
Here's the question I threw to Jay, though, because I think we're all kind of in agreement. You'd rather see Vegas. And I know, Liam, you say...
I'm kind of in the middle.
Like you'd rather play Vegas, but you understand.
Yeah, I think Vegas is such an interesting team because every year they seem to go through these obstacles and they're coming out on the other side of them for the most part. Like goaltending carousel, half the team we've never even heard of before, yet here they are first in the division. LA's good, but I was kind of looking at the schedule. They're not really beating anybody.
Mm-hmm.
They're beating, you got to win your games out of it, right? And that's obviously important, but like, I feel like the Oilers are just as good.
Let me give you a stat here, Liam.
Here we go.
This is, mind you, this is 2 days old. Since February 1st, the LA Kings are 14-0-2 against non-playoff or wildcard teams. They are 1-2-1 against actual playoff teams.
Since when?
Feb 1st.
So they played
Almost
4
2 months.
games against playoff teams?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was looking
So there's
through as well.
wildcard teams in the first stat as well. the wild card team is a playoff team, but like top 3 in your division teams. They've only played 4 games.
And they're catching teams at like good times too for them. Like they've played Calgary a little bit, who are obviously falling, Winnipeg a couple of times, Nashville as well. So they're not playing like horrible teams. Obviously there's some teams, those 3 teams I just mentioned are fighting for their playoff lives, but they seem to be trying to climb up a waterfall with nothing behind it. Cause again, absolutely nowhere. And it's just, I don't know. I'm very curious to see what it's going to be like when we play LA on, what is it, Thursday?
I imagine the boys are going to be fired up for
Thursday
that one.
and next Tuesday.
Because the last one did not go well.
We have them twice, don't we?
Yep.
Thursday and Tuesday.
It's huge. It's massive to, if the Oilers want to accomplish anything in the actual division in the regular season, they have to win tonight and they have to beat LA probably both games.
Yeah, I think you have to beat LA both games, and that'll
They
be
can do it. Like, there's no reason the Oilers cannot beat LA. They
just
have to tighten up defensively.
They just can't beat themselves.
Yep.
Yes.
We're not getting beaten by other teams per se. We're making our own mistakes that are allowing other teams to have opportunities.
Like last night, as an example, the Oilers had to score 5 to win. You know, certain goalies, I'm giving you 4.
Yeah, but we got to like the Nurse thing that you said earlier, where it's something that led to Nurse having to do so. We're doing that to our goaltenders too.
A little bit, but I would also go back, like, he hasn't had a percentage above 900.
We can
8 games.
Yeah, I've like we said earlier, we got to stop looking at his percentage for the year. I've just stopped looking at his percentage even per game.
I'll just stop looking at his stats in general.
Yeah, you do care about wins. I mean, you can go back to this as like 80s hockey, right? That's just the way it goes. It's a goaltender who's been struggling all year.
Yeah.
Who is not getting a lot of reps. So the rebound control last night, I know you wanted to be better, but without a lot of reps, you can kind of understand
You're working on that in practice. That's inexcusable.
There's a huge difference between practice and game.
It's lame as shit, man.
You don't think there's a difference between practice and game?
No, I'm
There
saying
is, but
if
like-
you're a backup goalie, do what you need to do and that just comes back. Is it a prepreparation thing then for Campbell?
7
I don't
straight
care if
games
he's not
over
playing
4.
a lot, man. Other backup goalies don't play a lot and they have better numbers than Jack Campbell.
Are they the wins?
Okay, that regardless.
They're-
Make
the
the
only
last
reason
save.
he's-
Make the
but the
last
reason he's
save.
getting
Make
wins
the
is 'cause
last
the
save.
Oilers
He's
are
making the last
averaging
save. It's
5
not
goals.
it's not a great season for him. It's a bad season for him.
Yeah.
But he's somehow making that last save to make sure we win.
Just feels like there's been a lot of, his equipment wasn't great.
Let me ask you a question. You playing him in the playoffs?
Not unless you have to. I mean, but he's
There
not
you
my number one right now, though.
Yeah, he's not.
It's just
I'd
7
play him
straight games of
against
4
San
plus
Jose.
goals.
I'd play him against San Jose coming up.
Yeah.
Those fine. Like, do some rest there while you can leading up to the playoffs. But like, the numbers are the numbers.
He's such an interesting goalie because
I just feel we're looking at for the bad again.
I said this on Oilersnation every day too. You don't think you really need to look. I think.
It's obvious, but I mean, it's right away we're going that's a bad, as opposed to like when that little fella was bringing the puck across the blue paint.
Oh, the Italian guy.
Yeah.
Macelli.
And he was doing that, and then but if you're defenseman, play some body there. There's something different there, right?
I've kind of just eliminated goaltending numbers from my mind now for both Skinner and Camo, because now the counter argument is like, Skinner's not been, his numbers don't look good. When you play in these last 3 games, he's not had over a 900 since Dallas. But when you actually watch the games, he's actually playing pretty good.
Goaltending and goaltenders are both voodoo. Stop trying to understand them. Who knows?
It's kind of irrelevant. The best stat is obviously wins, and like Jack Campbell is somehow getting wins every single night.
Makes no
sense. It's not
but
in the perfect fashion, and I think the frustrating part about it is he's actually making big saves.
There were a lot
in
of
the
big
moment,
saves
like
last night.
high scoring chances. He's saving them. The ones that are going in are the weaker ones, where it's like,
Mikko
man, like
stuff.
how did you just come across a crease and stuff that guy on the one timer, but the one where it's just like. You're not
dude's first goal.
You're not even screened. And it's just
somehow
like
got through your
your
arm and your
glove
body.
is just like not in the right spot. The second one, obviously, I don't think that's on him. It's a bad bounce, whatever. And then, the guy comes across, and then the fourth one, whatever that one was. It's just like, we are making excuses, it feels like, for him almost every game, but it's so weird to watch him because you're right. He makes the last save, which is arguably the most important one.
I mean, that's the
issue is he's already allowed 4 or 5, but also last night,
Grant Fear, the whole Grant Fear legend, right? Like,
He's just very lucky the Oilers scored 5.
he is. And last night, he's the reason they went in with a lead into the first intermission. He was great. He was very good in the first period.
Yes.
But it's not the whole Grant Fear thing, because was Grant Fear 46th in save percentage in any of those seasons?
I don't know. You have the computer in front
How
of
many
you.
rings does he, Grant Fuhr? Did he get 4 or 5?
5.
That'll do. Jack will get 5 here too. Then we'll compare him to Grandview.
And I know you can't really compare today's hockey versus 80s hockey, but
he's an intriguing story because there's some nights you watch him and you're like, how is this happening again? And then he makes the big save in overtime, which prevents you always from losing. It's like, all right. This is Jack Campbell hockey, folks. We're in for it for 4 more years.
Yep, about that.
Woo,
maybe.
Unless some people get their wish and they're like ready to buy him out right now.
You can't buy him.
Wouldn't that be the
That's
stupidest thing in the world?
He's tradable.
No, he's not. But you ride it out.
Everybody's tradable.
He is.
You just might not like what your return is.
Yeah, the return will not be good. You'll probably have to put something with it if they do that.
Well, careful because he 13 got moved too and didn't have to bring anything back.
Has he been healthy scratch recently in Carolina?
Saturday. He's got those good metrics again though.
I see the Lux carrying over though.
A lot of big saves against them. Shesterkin really robbed them.
Yeah, I saw that one. Undoubtedly, Shesterkin. Yep.
One big thing that happened in last night's hockey game, or one of the other big things that happened in last night's hockey game, was Leon Draisaitl firing home his 300th career NHL goal, becoming the first player from the 2014 draft class to accomplish that feat. He is the highest scoring player from his draft class at 730 points, second place being Pasternak at 601, but 300 goals for Leon Draisaitl. What an accomplishment for one of the best goal scorers in the NHL, the best goal scorer in the NHL, at least
the
when
best
you look
passer in the NHL.
Sure, but when you look over the last 3 seasons in the NHL, no one has scored more in that span than Leon Draisaitl. It is pretty remarkable the run he's on. And as Nick Bukestad joked on the bench, why are we grabbing the puck?
Yeah, which
What
milestone is this?
And he joked after that it seems like Draisaitl just hits a milestone every game.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
What milestone is this?
Also, just since you brought up Nick Bukestad, CTV had an interview with him last week that I talked about on Better Late Than Ever. It's just so fucking funny of him spending a day at West Edmonton Mall and going to the water park and just having the time of his life. Outrage is funny. Go find it on the CTV.
That is awesome.
Over the last 5 seasons, Leon Draisaitl leads the NHL with 225 goals. Matthews, Ovi, McDavid, Pasternak is the rest of the top 5. So some stick taps to Leon Draisaitl. Big number 29 for hitting a big milestone.
That is amazing.
That goal he scored last night, it had some gas on it. I still don't really know how it went in, but man, it had gas on it.
I didn't know it when they said, "Oh, I don't think Jack knew it had gone in." When the puck went in, his
well, first
reaction
of all, it
was the
should
second
not
one.
have gone in.
Well, facts. Yes.
Yes.
I think it was flat on the ice, not a big bomb, just kind of like pushed it along. I mean, goal scorer, score, right?
Shoot a shoot.
And then it came out real fast.
There
too.
was another one that I thought what's his face should have had for the Coyotes last night. I was
Veggie.
like, which one?
Elka.
Yeah.
Veggie.
It was
Veggie.
it's a fun nickname. Also, Nick Bukestad nickname, rotisserie chicken. Love that.
But I think that was calculated
Oh,
from
Darnell
Draisaitl.
Nurse's goal that one was ugly. last night.
That bought down and then on the line, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, he knocked it in, yeah.
Anyway.
But anyways, anyway, shout out to Leon Draisaitl. I guess that was my only point.
Shout out Leon.
Can he beat the inevitable OV goal record?
You know the only...
Ooh.
Oh, maybe.
What's the goal record?
If him and Connor play together...
Most goals in the league all time.
I despise the fact he's going to do it, but I think I've just kind of gotten over the fact he's probably going to do it.
I've actually changed my mind on it to think it's pretty fucking cool. To have the longevity to do it as often as he's been doing it for as long as he's been doing it.
Gretz is one of ours.
He's got 60 more records. He's fine.
There was another podcast out there, and I don't remember who it was, but they asked if Connor can beat that record as well.
The goals
They
record.
said yes.
I don't think he got off to a hot enough start in his career to do it. In terms of
But
goal
if he does 60 plus 3 times or 4 times, is
240.
he back in the race?
Yeah.
What's he at?
He's at 2.
Ov's highest goal
299.
total
Oh, yeah, right.
was 65 in 2007, 2008.
So with Draisaitl, though, do you think he could get to 700 in his career? He's played 600.
Yes, I do.
He's played 630 games. He's at 300.
I do if
Yes.
if he and Connor continue to play.
Yeah, if he
together.
stays here.
Yeah.
If he, God forbid, ends up leaving, no.
Most likely, no. You don't know where he's going to go, but most
those
likely,
two are magic together. Well, even so, I stand by my point. No matter where he goes on Earth, he's not like his guy won't be Connor if he leaves.
The power play won't be as good. He won't have someone that dangerous feeding him the puck in his spot. Like, yeah, I agree with that.
Those two are like very Sedin like almost in the way they work together.
If he does hit 700, he will move.
He hits 700.
He will move into the top 10 all time in goals. So it's pretty rad that Leon Draisaitl, a guy we got third overall, could go down as, again, one of the best goal scorers.
The only milestone I care about is we've got 8 games to get 9 points for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
He's going to do it.
Scored another clutch one the other day.
Game winner last night.
What is
clutch? Like he's had that clutch gene this year.
What's the benchmark to get into the top 10? What's the 10th guy have?
The goal?
10th all time is
659.
It's Yzerman with 692, Messier 694.
I was at his last game. Kick rocks, Yzerman.
Yeah.
Game 6. What a game.
Nerd.
Thanks, Hemsky.
All-time power play goals. Leon Draisaitl, that record is 299.
I feel like he'll hit that next season.
Ovi holds that one. What is he actually
125, I think.
Yeah, because he's getting close to like the Oilers record or whatever, isn't he? Or passing
Smitty.
Yeah. Or no, it's passing Glenn
tied.
Anderson.
Isn't it tied? Smitty and Glenn Anderson are tied.
I don't remember. 121 is what he's at right now. 112th all time. So if he pots one tonight, he'll move into 110th all time
50.
and tie Frank Mahovlich.
53 game winning goals on his career too.
Big game tonight. Huge.
Yeah, this is your last kick at the division here, right?
Sort of.
Yeah,
You got
probably.
it. Like it's got to be a win.
Yeah,
right?
Rick.
Sort of. I mean, not technically no, but pretty much yes. I don't like being that must-win guy, so yeah, not technically, but pretty
If
damn.
you
I think it's a must win, not necessarily for the points.
No, but I don't like
spiritually.
saying the must win
Yes.
unless it's actually a must win. So
It's a spiritual
technically you can
must
still win the division by losing tonight, but it's going to be a hell of a lot harder.
Yeah, if you were to lose
I need
tonight,
a lot more help.
if you were to lose tonight, you'd be 7 back and they still have a game in hand on you and you'd only have 7 games to play, which means the most points you can get is 14. Like it's,
Yeah.
Can't believe we only have
gets
7
tough. So
left.
if you want to have a shot at the division, I think you got to get 2 points in regulation this evening
Yes,
against
please,
the
by the
Vegas
way.
Golden Knights. Also, LA is playing Calgary.
No, geez.
Oh, come on, Calgary. Do something.
Another-
Mail them the 2 points, I guess.
Another weak opponent for the LA Kings.
No kidding.
Frauds.
Although my preseason, I got to
Frauds. I would mean to like someone thought they were good or they tried to be good. I think they're just bad the whole time.
The
My
Kings or the
preseason
Flames?
hot take is looking pretty
Flames.
good right now, boys.
Which was what?
Nazem Kadri will not hit 60 points on the season.
What's he at?
51.
I think my hot take was that 5 teams from the Pacific would make the playoffs.
Getting 4 for sure.
Yeah.
Calgary 4 points back of Winnipeg, same number of games played. So an outside shot for the Calgary Flames.
Where's Nashville factor into that, though?
Nashville is 5 points back with 2 games in hand.
Come on, Tyson Berry.
Flames schedule. They
Lead
do
them
have,
in there.
the Flames actually do have a head-to-head against the Jets on April 5th and a head-to-head against the Preds. So they are not out of it by any means. Also Calgary's schedule, LA tonight, and then they go Vancouver, Anaheim, Chicago.
Oh, so
Decent chance for them
They
to
can
maybe
make up some ground, but like they've lost to Anaheim.
Yeah,
No,
they
they've
have.
lost to Chicago.
Some of those teams have to start worrying about where they finish in the draft lottery. No,
Well, that's why I was talking to David Quadrelli, he's our editor in chief, and he runs Canucks Army, and I'm like, what's with Vancouver playing themselves out of the Bedard sweepstakes? Like, what are you
crazy.
doing?
Them and Arizona were both like, we're good. We don't want it.
did Montreal do that too?
Yeah, a little bit. San Jose is the team that's put themselves in pole position here. So
good for them.
I remember that used to be us.
But like when it was the Oilers, though, I remember the first ones. There was like a 50% chance if you finished dead last, you got that pick. It's just
48.1, wasn't it?
something like that.
Yeah.
It's like just not the case anymore.
and
No,
then there
we
was
won
also
too many. Then I was like 18.3 or something.
But then there was the year the Oilers didn't even win it. New Jersey won it, but they could only move up so many slots. So
Yeah,
Edmonton got Taylor Hall or whatever, or the Nuge.
There was
Nuge.
the Nuge.
Yeah.
And then Larson went to Jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's why they got the 4th.
Edmonton got some breaks, that's for sure.
And then Buffalo and Florida.
11.5% of the time, it works every time.
Buffalo and Florida decided to leave the German on the board.
Mhm.
It was awfully nice of them.
Oh,
Yeah, very
shout out
nice.
to 'em.
We don't say thank you to Florida and Buffalo for that.
I say it to Buffalo every chance I get. And then,
Yeah.
of course, because they're so bad at winning lotteries.
And then Calgary fans laughed because they got Sam Bennett, the better player.
Do you remember I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why it just keeps fucking popping up. But Spectre's like, I don't care about the McWhatever kid. Calgary's pretty happy
I'll
with her
take this
Bennett.
Sam, but yeah.
Doug Gilmore 2.0. Oh, this sounds like, I think we just got Gretzky 2.0. So
Doug Gilmore couldn't do a pull-up.
What is interesting though is Sam Bennett, since leaving Calgary, new guy.
Solid player.
Is he that good this year though?
He fell off from last year, but he's
So that team last year was a bit of an anomaly.
Yeah, he had 28 goals and 49 points last year. He's got 16 goals and 40 points this year. So point pace is roughly the same, but the goal production is definitely not.
Team point pace ain't there.
The three players who kind of stand head and shoulders above the rest in that draft class are Leon Draisaitl, David Pastrnak, and Braden Point.
Where did Pastrnak go?
Pastrnak went 25th and Point went 79. So it's the third overall pick leading the way, then the 25th overall pick and the 79th overall pick.
And Ekblad just a lot of injuries.
Braden Point, I would love to know what was like. Now with hindsight, it's easy, right? But why did people not want Braden Point? Like, why did 60 picks go by without him?
It was his height.
It was too small.
Of his height, then why the hell did Reinhardt go ahead of Leon?
I don't know.
I remember
Sam's a little fella.
I was actually reading about the Draisaitl draft a little while ago.
He's
I was doing
6'2".
some old stuff.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I take it.
Is he really?
Sam Reinhart? Yeah.
Tall and skinny, eh?
Oh, all right. I thought he was
Mean
much more.
fighting machine.
I remember I was looking back at some of our draft profiles for Leon from 2014, and it was foot speed was the issue.
Do you remember?
That's what everybody was talking about. Foot
Yeah,
speed.
he got
Can't
his
skate
first
at the
year. Oh,
NHL
he
level.
can't skate. Then he went back to Germany, did something. He came back like Acme rocket skates on
And
his
then
feet.
it was, he's just a playmaker. And then it was like, how about I develop a sweet shot? 50 goal guy. Bang. Done.
How about
Now
I find
he's
an
the
office in the
second
corner
best
that
player in the world.
No one else can score from.
Yeah.
It seems like.
Special player.
Shout out
Yes.
to also, by the way, favorite account at this time of the year. Matthew Iwanek has the Oilers playoff magic number at 7.
If there's one account I'm a little more excited about, it's the one that posted last night or the night before about the percentages to winning the Stanley Cup.
Oh, the
Money Puck.
And we were first.
Money Puck has us at 1 now. I don't understand why the model is so, like, those statistical models have traditionally been very down on the Oilers for whatever reason. Maybe it's the depth that's starting to
Gotta be
look
the
good.
depth.
But yeah, Money Puck as of this morning.
But like you could also have 3 100-point players on the roster.
I think
Yeah.
it's the stars that the others have.
Do you think it is?
Well,
Too much star or so much star power?
they've probably got 4 star forwards. That's not including Evander Kane.
Yeah, it could be
when
5.
when he shows up.
Yeah.
Defensively, they've probably got 2 stars in Ekholm and Nurse.
Yeah.
And then a goaltender in
The
Stuart
budding
Skinner.
star in Bush.
Yeah. And then in Stuart Skinner, you've got a goaltender that can steal a game on his best night, right?
You look at the teams in the West, just on paper, and I think you have to put the Oilers as first, coming out of the West. And then the East, dude, they're going to beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah. It's going to be an absolute battle.
Money Puck now has the Oilers 3rd in the league, 13.3% to Boston, 12.5 to Colorado, 10.6 to Edmonton.
Don't they have the Rangers below Calgary? Last night I swear it's
Yeah,
like
they did.
1.6 Calgary, 1.2 Rangers. is
Yeah,
all
they have the Rangers at a 0.9% chance of winning the Cup. Calgary and Florida both above them.
Yeah.
Maybe this model needs to be
I was going to say, so should we believe anything that we've just spoke about then?
Well, it's funny because the whole trade deadline went down, right? And, you know, everybody in the East is like pumping their team up with all these players, and everyone's like, the Rangers, oh my God, they got Kane. I'm like, 3 weeks ago, were the Rangers the top team in the East? Like, where did you have them situated? And now taking everybody's acquisitions and resituate. Are they? I still don't think they jumped that high. So it was really funny. I didn't think they'd be that low.
Yeah, that seems low because like I'm looking at the Metro right now. Without question, it's not really close. The Rangers are the hottest team over the last 10 games.
Who are they looking at first round?
8-1
Devils,
and 1.
right?
Yep, Devils.
That is
Great
going to
series.
be unbelievable.
And just like New Jersey, New York, like
it's going to be
Like a
That's just
Subway
good.
series?
That's just good TV right there.
Yeah. Let's give some love to our friends at Tourism Jasper. Spring is just about here, or it is here.
Technically, it is here.
It is here, but the melt is on its way. The air feels a little bit different.
Look at these kicks he's got.
Yeah,
these
That's
are
how
different
I know
ones.
spring's here. He's got
Different ones
fresh
than last
kicks
week.
2 weeks in a row.
yeah. Rick's rocking some sweet shoes.
damn Daniel.
It is good time for some spring skiing in Jasper, though. Warmer temperatures, drinks on the patio. The escape card is still available if you want to scoop up some half-price lift tickets as well. Clear days, epic views of the mountain.
Ooh, epic.
Epic. epic views.
Epic views.
It's a good time out with our friends at Tourism Jasper. Go sneak in a little bit of last minute skiing. Why not? Why not before golf courses open?
Is there ever a time you can do those two things in one day? Ski and golf?
Oh, I don't think so. The golf course is open May 31st. March.
You'd probably be pushing it then.
Yeah, a little bit too much. A little bit.
I mean, you could just go hack some balls in town if you want.
That's
Yep.
fair.
Why not?
Yep.
Tourism Jasper does not advocate for that.
No.
Just Bag Milk does.
Yeah. Just like set up by the train and just start smashing
I don't know
balls.
why you just don't take a driver up to the top of the mountain.
Oh, yeah. I see no problems with that.
Sorry, Tourism Jasper. Let's end the show with everyone's favorite segment, word association. Yeah, you were
That's the
chomping
only
at the
reason
bit.
BM came in today.
Yep.
Oh, my Lord. I've been waiting.
I wasn't sure if we were going to bring it up because you didn't say it in the show script.
Yeah, I've been kind of
It's more
ignoring
fun
it.
just to leave it and then we just break it to him at this point and see
Yeah.
if he's fighting it or not. He's like, fine, I have 4 words.
I have 4 words.
See?
I had a quick question though, if someone can fill me in on some NHL history.
Mhm.
So when we were talking about the draft, I was curious to know who had won the draft recently and all that draft lottery. So in 2020, the New York Rangers moved from 8th to 15th to 1st. How did that happen again?
You guys
What?
remember that was the year it was the bubble, right?
I thought LA was that team though.
No.
So
Because they drafted Clayton Howden. Was he right? Is that right?
Quinn Byfield.
Quinn Byfield.
LA
Quinn
drafted him and
Yeah,
it was Lafreniere that went first. So
Yeah,
they
so-
won that the team that was eliminated got
Yeah.
first. Oh, I forgot that. I thought it was LA that was team. All right. Well,
I thought you were going to ask an actual historical question. Not
That was
something that happened
historical.
last week.
Rick, that was a whole pandemic ago.
Oh man, I was stretching. I'm like, okay, what happened in the 90s? I'm ready for this one.
Whatever you need. That was it. 2020.
All right. Let's get into word association. I got 4 words or 4 phrases. You guys will give me 4 words. Starting with Bag Milk, going around the horn back to me. Number 1, Evander Kane's effort in overtime.
Pick it up.
Unacceptable.
Undesirable.
Putrid. The officiating versus Arizona.
What?
Unacceptable.
Putrid. It's college level.
I was thinking.
There
College
was just
level,
the
yeah, I like that
weirdest
one.
calls last night.
Dude,
Like,
the
Leon
holding on Vinny was terrible. I don't even think his arms were bent.
Holding
He's
with
just
your
that
elbow.
big. And then in that same penalty, Derek Ryan takes an elbow to the mouth. Not a call.
Yeah.
Leon slashing no one at all except the air and the
After he
bugs.
gets speared, Klim gets tackled from behind, no call. They got it the second time. Just brutal, man.
Awful.
Okay, now here, what was the explanation as to when we were about to get the power play and we have the puck?
Oh yeah.
We have the puck. They blow the whistle. Sportsnet, thank you very much for all your work. Goes to commercial, comes back and acts like it never happened.
So they said that it was the linesman called too many men.
Yes.
But
So they
then
can do the old too many men, but not a penalty, but a whistle.
They came together and decided that it wasn't too many men.
So can
That's
we just
what
put
I
a
think.
fucking linesman in the penalty box then?
2 minutes for being shit.
Oh, please.
The Oilers' chances of winning the division.
Yeah.
Okay.
100.
Slim.
Okay.
Slim. The poutine hot dog that the Blue Jays are selling at games this season.
Ooh.
Epic.
I'll give it a go.
100%.
Okay, well, we were talking before. I think they need either extra gravy on there because the gravy's not going to get
I gotta
through. And then the bun's going to be awfully dry. So I think what you do is you butter the bun, melt some cheese on there, and then do the dog, then do then finish it off with the cheese.
Yeah, I
you
think that,
you get some actual cheese melted on the bun.
I'm seeing a picture of this baby right now, and I would tend to agree with you.
Basically a hot dog with gravy and cheese curds.
you gotta
That sounds
dip it.
fucking
Or
awesome.
you got to dip it in.
No, it's like
Oh, the
there's
dipper.
everything about it's
Like a
awesome.
beef
I
dip.
just worry about the dryness of the bread.
Yep, that's where I'm going.
But I think the gravy will seep into it and you'll be fine.
That's why I said you need extra
Yeah.
gravy because it's
Maybe
there's
like
lot
a
of butt.
pool dog gravy cheese.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Now,
Hot dog
I know this is
poutine butter.
besides the point, but I know Lieutenant Eric brought it up on Twitter this morning. How about like a donair dog?
My mouth is absolutely watering right now.
A donair dog?
I need this so
yeah, I
bad.
mean, who doesn't want to have that?
So you take the bun,
Donair
melt
on
the
the way
cheese again, dog, split it. Then you take donair meat over top, onions, sauce, call it a day.
Oh, see, I'd be just rolling the meat into a log.
Well, no, you can get donair sausage.
Rolling the meat into a log.
Like he's like practicing over there.
All right.
I'm hungry.
There you go. That's a wrap on word association. We're all going to go grab a bite to eat. Maybe we'll even go to Oodle Noodle to do so. Actually,
I need a sticker.
Oilers puck line cover, courtesy of our friends at Betway, is tonight. The night the Oilers finally win a game by 2 or more. What do you like tonight, BM?
Over 1.5 power play goals. Back on it for me.
Yeah, that seems like a good spot.
Oilers money line, Draisaitl 2+ plus 225.
That's juicy, and I like juicy. I'm taking them on the puck line. Rick, do you like anything?
You got to look at the Connor shots, the nude shots.
Nuggy, yeah.
And I'm still probably looking at a Connor. I think it's is it plus 400 for 2 goals?
What did you guys have for some keys to victory today? Because for me, just like you got to weather the first couple of minutes, get your legs into it, get going. Like you can't allow a goal in the first 5, 6, 7
I wonder what we
minutes.
look like in the first 10 minutes or the first period of the back half of a head-to-head, because we have been pretty good.
Well, we took the lead last time when we were in Vegas and it was a back-to-back. Remember?
That is true. We were there.
Yeah, Mark got the goal. Jack Campbell got the win.
Ooh.
My key to victory, Vegas is bleeding a ton of chances right now. They give up a lot of high danger looks, a lot of scoring chances at 5-on-5. Score on your opportunities. Think about the game on Saturday. There was that stretch in the middle of the first period where the Oilers had like 4 quality looks and didn't score on any of them. Brossoit just stopped them. You need to bury those. If you bury your chances early,
In his kitchen too.
yeah, take advantage of the looks and you'll win.
Who's in net tonight?
Brossoit.
Quick.
Isn't it Brossoit? That's what Gregor had.
Oh, really?
They said on Daily Faceoff it was likely quick.
Oh, I trust Brock then.
We've been lied to.
I trust Brock.
I think it's 11 and
Daily
7
Faceoff has quick is likely.
There's a fight in the company.
Yes.
He was the first goalie off at morning skate.
Oh, yeah, so quick, yeah.
Yeah,
key
but
to
he's also
victory.
73 years old, so maybe he was just
Tired.
like, he was
Price is Right was on.
Oh,
Sleepy
touche.
boy. All right, remember, you can get Oilers Nation stickers at any Oodle Noodle location in Edmonton. They're free. Why not? Shout out to Tourism Jasper, AMA Travel, and our friends at Betway. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back on Friday.
Goodbye.